Well, welcome back to the Dynasty Citadel. My name is Terry. We're going to get started here. I have four players that I've just been doing a little bit of research on. Then, I'm live right now, so might as well get into them. First, we're going to start with actually, and I made had made an infographic for it. So, see how it looks. It's Chase Brown. So, starting off with Chase Brown, as we see here, we know he was a fifth round pick, and now with the Bengals, he I would dare to say the bell cow for the Bengals. But let's start off with Illinois, right? So we saw in his last season with Illinois, he had 328 carries, which is good. 5 yards per carry. It's okay in college, not the greatest, but still that's 1,600 yards, 10 rushing touchdowns. Um, Let's see, as a receiving threat, pretty decent, 27 receptions, 240 yards, but he had 18, almost 1,900 yards nationally. And I think, would it be this year with it? I can't remember what's my guy, Scatabo. I'm not sure what he would have had, but he would have, Chase Brown would have, I forgot his name that quick, even though I was talking about him. Chase Brown would have been right up there with those guys. Not Genty level, but would have been up there. So according to PFF, and we're going to look at PFF here in just a second as well, because that's what I like to do on these streams. But we can see it was number 2 in the nation, forced tackles, yards after contact, number 5, rushes over 10 plus yards, number 2 in the nation, which is great. And what I did not know at the time, that's why it's good to look at this. What I might do is try to take a deeper dive into what I might do one day is actually, and one day being tomorrow, go through all the running backs, look at their combine performance, but then also try to match it up with, if that's actually, I say I'm doing that tomorrow, that's going to take some work and some prep. But do all of that because you see his RAS score, and the RAS score is different on different sites, so that's why I have it like that. But still, it's elite at 9, basically 9.8. 4.3, 4.43, 1.5 split, 40-inch vert. So, and I didn't realize Chase Brown was that strong. Okay, now the reason that I kept finding pass pro concerns. Okay, the RB class in what was that 2023 was pretty good. Because you had Bijan, you had Gibbs. Who was the other guy? The guy in Miami. Anytime I come on these streams, I forget people's names. As soon as I get off the streams, I remember everybody. But he also had 6 fumbles. You know, that kind of reminds me of Tootin, to be honest with you. And I remember, and the crazy thing is, we're actually going over Tootin today. So I need to actually look at a few things with him. Okay. Rookie season, non-factor. We know that. We did find a signature moment, week 14 against the Colts. He ran 22 miles per hour. It was the second fastest time for running backs. But his PFF grades weren't good. His pass blocking grade was absolutely awful. And we go in here to a sophomore year, breakout last year. So, and I think he's just had more opportunity. Zach Moss gets hurt. Joe Mixon is traded, and we see that now Chase Brown has opportunity to be a lead back, which anybody that had him on his fantasy team or required him, or if you already had him, you made up big. Almost had 1,000 yards. If he didn't basically hurt his ankle that last game he was in, he would have had 1,000 yards. 54 receptions, 360 yards, 4 touchdowns. Just shows he's a dual threat. And the crazy part about that is he really didn't start. I think when I looked at it to like week 5, week 6, or really like the playing time between him and Zach Moss. I can't remember when the injury for Zach Moss took place, but once that happened, Chase Brown took off immediately. And then you can see the PFF grades, 75, basically 75 PFF grade, number 18 league, rushing grade good, receiving grade, number 6 back, and the pass blocking, the improvement there. And for a running back, good. Oh, let's see, that's why I have it in here. All right, so he took over for Zach Moss. Let's see, so before the injury, then he gets the 85% snap share. So what I am thinking about Chase Brown, right? His PFF grade numbers are low because he really didn't start playing for real until week 9. And if he would have played before that, his PFF grade, what I should have did is looked at his PFF grade before then. But you can see his opportunity share. NFL was number 10. Great. All right, so we have the flags for him, right? So we have his athleticism, breakout age was actually early, workhorse running back, which seems to be a good thing because it seems like if you have a bell cow workload in college, from everything I hear, you should be good in the NFL when you actually get that usage. Let's see. The efficiency, we know pass protection improve, and coaching staff endorsement, cool. Yeah, that's good. But this flags, 5th round capital, historically, that's bad. But at the end of the day, I think if you're a good running back, you're a good running back. The same thing with Kyron, right? Kyron, I believe, was a 5th round pick. And we're starting to see a lot of running backs, even Isaiah Pacheco, 7th round pick. Starting to see a lot of running backs. And the thing is, you have to get these running backs. Once they get a shot, you have to go ahead and get them. And the crazy thing is what I see a lot of times is when you see this workload durability concerns, a lot of times you see that mixed with the college workhorse production, which is a green flag. I noticed that a lot. Potential future competition, it was because Zach Moss, he had Joe Mixon in front of him. Efficiency, that makes sense. Ball security in college with the 6 fumbles. That does remind me, I believe, of Tootin because I don't think Tootin was holding on the ball that well this past year. All right, my verdict. All right. His day 3 capital, don't even worry about it. He is a high-end RB1, in my opinion. He does not have any competition in that backfield this year. Taj Brooks is not going to be competition. Zach Moss restructured his deal to stay on the team, meaning he is the RB2 because Khalil Herbert is gone. He is a top 10 dynasty running back. I will have to actually look at my order and see where to fix it. But in redraft, you got the value in him that way because he can do both, and I know you can get him a lot cheaper. In Dynasty, if you can acquire him, go ahead and get him. And if he's still going, if he's priced below RB8 in any Dynasty league, go ahead and get him. So if you can get him less than the 108, the 110, still at this time, yeah, he's definitely a immediate buy. And for my redraft people, and the thing is, you put redraft, but really, if you think about it in Dynasty, once the season starts, in a sense, you have a redraft mindset if you're trying to win, but you have to keep it in the back of the mind. You still have your picks. You still have to build your team out. But when you're going by game basis or a week-by-week basis, there's technically like a redraft mode once that week starts and you start playing that week. Now, of course, you have to actually act like a GM for Dynasty, but week to week, yeah, he's going to be RB1 week in, week out, easily, just in that offense. Bengals did acquire some pieces through the draft for defense, but the offense, firepower. You have T. Higgins. I believe Gesicki's still on the team. Of course, Chase, and then now Chase Brown. So let's get into the PFF stuff real quick. So let's look. You can see he still was efficient early on the season, but was he really getting any of the snaps? Am I on the receiving grade? I am. Let's go. And I should have looked at that a little bit earlier, but that's fine. Okay, so week 8, even PFF doesn't really necessarily say his run grade was even that great before then, to be honest with you. But to be honest, in fantasy, it's not the main thing we're worrying about. He had 10 plus, just to show explosive plays. He had 23 plays where he had basically 10 or more yards, which I believe is good. I know Saquon's probably was leading that category. In the breakaways, he had 10, 15 plus yard runs. So his breakaway percentage is pretty, it's okay. Pretty decent, 49 first downs. And the thing is, you got to remember his snaps, let's see, attempts, 229 attempts. So the thing is, Chase Brown, and I know they're not going to try to wear him out, but he could really Yeah, because let's see, how many carries did he have? He really didn't. Okay, he started getting more carries up to week 15. Is this week 9? Yeah, week 9, you can see that thing jumps up. 27 carries here. It goes to 13, 22, 12, 14, 25, 18, 20. Yeah, you see it really jump up. And the thing is, he didn't play week 18 because he was hurt. Because he would have definitely got those 1,000 yards. So, and the thing is, when you just looking at him, since he can catch the ball too, that's the thing that puts him over the top, in my opinion. If he couldn't catch, then you would be wondering a little bit more about Chase, because let's go back to his receiving grade. Even though we started there, his receiving grade, running back again, it was 75.7. Oh, wait a minute now. I done did something. Hold on, let me move my screen. Okay, there we go. Over here, mess my thing up. Yeah, I'm trying to do these things. Okay, but even when you look at his receiving grade, right? He had 360 yards. He really doesn't start getting a major snap count to week 9, and then you see the targets jump up immediately too. So he starts going. The most he has is 3, and then he goes to 5, 9. No, I'm sorry. I'm looking on the wrong side. 10 targets, 7 targets, back to 3, 8, 3, 3, 3, 4. So you can see the usage being put up even more. I'm pretty sure if we start looking, yeah, he has some big games. And the thing is, he's pretty efficient catching the ball too. Even though he's not catching like having major routes or anything like that. But Chase Brown can catch, so that's a good thing. Good size at 5'9", 215, 4.43 speed. Let's see. Around the slot a little bit. Not really too much. Pass blocking 62. We can it's better than that 26 he posted in the beginning. The crazy thing is, if you look at his receiving grade his first year, it was still 81. Letting you know he could catch a little bit. Yards per run was good. Running back, it's never going to be too high in receiving grade. So you have Chase Brown. Here, and he could do both. He could run the ball. He can catch the ball. Is he the most efficient player? No. But in the Bengal offense, he's going to get opportunity. Zach Moss scares me, honestly, with that neck injury he has. And I don't truly know what to think about it. It could be a Chris Carson situation. The crazy thing, Zach Moss had that one good season. And then now I'm not sure if he'll ever be the same. Hopefully, he's okay, but I'm not sure. But I think Chase Brown's going to take this opportunity. It's going to be similar to a Kyron Williams situation, who I probably should look at eventually. But I think it's going to be very similar to a Kyron Williams situation, where you're always in the back of your head going to be thinking, hey, is he going to get replaced? And as Kyron owners are taking the bet saying he's not. But I'm not sure what the Rams are going to do. And Chase Brown, not sure what they're going to do eventually. Because after next year he'll be the last year on his deal. Similar to how Pacheco is this year, similar to how Kyron is this year. So they have decisions they're going to make. I don't think they're going to make anything right now, and they'll see how Taj Brooks looks. I don't think they took him in the 6th round. I guess they took Chase in the 5th, but I'm not sure if Taj can catch the ball like how Chase Brown can. Okay, I think I mentioned I'm going to do 4 players tonight. Our next guy, Trey Harris. Yeah, what I did is two regular players, or I guess 2 NFL players who played last year, and then 2 rookies. So that's how I set it up. One of the players I think everybody probably agree with me on who will come up. But let's go to Trey Harris, right? So we had Trey Harris. He went from Louisiana Tech to Ole Miss, of course. The thing is, he entered the league at 23, so that's fine. He'll be an older receiver. Funny thing, everybody kept saying he was a quarterback in high school, throwing to Malik Neighbors. And let's see, you got him at 6'2", basically 6'3", 205, ran a 4.54, not the worst in the world. but he also has a vert of 38.5, 10.5 broad jump. Let's see, what else do we have? They didn't do the 3-cone because, and the thing was, what people were saying about the 3-cone is that they were wondering if him like coming in and out of routes, he wasn't the best at doing that, and so that might be the issue there. If we look at some of his stats, COVID year, take that out. So if we basically look at these 4 years, he has been productive basically every year. Now his target share this year wasn't that high, but he also got injured. And to be honest with you, for a guy that didn't have a high target share and still got 1,000 yards, it's pretty impressive in my opinion. Because even 23.6 isn't the highest, and he still almost had 1,000 yards this season and this season at Louisiana Tech. And it just shows that he was a good receiver, and no matter where he was at. And that's why I personally am high on him. Now, some of the things that do scare me is his knee injury stats. I'm not going to lie about that. I am a lot of lower body injuries. So that's one thing that does scare me. Now, the 128.8 yards per game, love it. For him to be a Biletnikoff semifinalist and missed about 4 or 5 games is amazing. Second team All-American. That's because he had 1,000 yards in technically 8 games. I think he only played like one play or one drive or something like that. He had to come out. All right, so yards per route run probably led probably number 1. Now he didn't play full season, but he still had a career 3.0 yards per route run. And it's definitely I believe it's number 1 in this class anyway. His yards versus man, 4.18, number 1 in the class, 95 PFF grade. So the thing is, when people say you can't separate, right? And or maybe that he doesn't win, maybe he's not the best separator, but he still wins. And that's what I want on my team against man. In the zone, he's still pretty decent at 2.82. That's still, it's 8th in the class, but 2.8 is still, it's very close to that 3 that you're looking at. So that's why I'm super high on Trey Harris. A-dot, good A-dot, deep yards. He was 6, 20 yards down the field. He said in 2024, even though he didn't play, let's listen to this. He led with 12 receptions with 30-plus yards. And he still tied the lead with 7 catches of over 40 yards. And that's in only 8 games, really was 7. And the new thing I've been looking at is the passer rating. And his was basically about 150 when targeted. So Jackson Dart knew who he needed to go to in clutch situations. And now I like guys who are primarily outside receivers because you can play those guys if you need to eventually in the slot. But if they can win outside, I know they can win in the slot. And somebody like him is 6'2". But will he be playing in the slot? No. They have Lad McConkey on the team. So he'll either be playing that Z receiver role, and maybe you keep QJ outside, or Mike Williams goes outside if Mike Williams is back to what he used to be. Or you put him on the X receiver and let him do what he did in college. Have a case for him. Not going to go over everything we have here. Let me scoop that up. I keep forgetting my face is in the way. But as we see the strengths, basically his size, his production, his contested catch rate, all that stuff. The weaknesses or the cases against him, let's say that. He's older. He's had the injury history. I know it says contested catch consistency questions because it seemed like earlier in his career wasn't that high, but he made improvement this year. That's what I care about. The route tree, that's what I mentioned earlier with the pre-draft testing. And now, the one thing we did find is the performance against top-tier competition. There was a dip in that, but that would make sense. The later breakout age, of course, but he didn't get to the SEC until he was basically 21. So that's the thing. In Conference USA, and the thing is, 1 year it was COVID, so it's kind of tough for him. So what I have has the player comparisons, but let's look at the fit first. We have positive Justin Herbert, arm talent. We know that Justin Herbert just needs receivers. Lad McConkey, Quentin Johnson, Mike Williams. So he'll either be the X receiver or the Z threat. One or the other. He is going to play. They put draft capital behind him. He's going to play. Now, the scheme we know is run heavy. Now, I think personally it was super run heavy last year because they didn't know if they could trust anybody. Then they found Ladd, and Ladd got a lot of touches. So if they figure out they could trust Trey Harris, I think it'll be a similar situation where maybe like the Eagles, where they do run the ball a lot, but if they need to throw the ball, they will throw the ball. Herbert, in my opinion, is a better just passer than Jalen Hurts is. Now, Hurts can do more things on the field, which makes him more dynamic and better. But I think Herbert can definitely, if you allow him to throw the ball, because he's been quarterback 3 before in fantasy. So if you allow him to throw the ball, he can get out there and make the right reads. The comparisons we have here, okay. We have the floor being Alec Pierce, the boom bust guy. Because you see with Anthony Richardson, that was his favorite receiver in my opinion. But you have Alec Pierce who could have 20-point weeks, and then he could have literally 0 or 3-point weeks. Ceiling, Devontae Parker, which is good because same thing with Devontae Parker with the injuries. That's what you was concerned about. I looked it up, I think a week ago. Devontae Parker, I forgot, had a wide receiver 11, number 11 overall. So he was at wide receiver 1 season. I honestly forgot about that. But for the most part, he was injured. He was around wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 range, to be honest with you. Do I want that for Trey Harris? Not necessarily. But if I can get that one wide receiver season, I think I would be happy with that, especially for a second round guy. I can accept it. Would I be totally happy? No, but I can accept it. If he gives me one wide receiver 1 season, yeah. Now, Puka Nacua, right? And that is the ultimate upside. That would be if the efficiency hits is because when I look at Puka's and I look at Trey Harris, Puka's last year, and I can actually go to it after this. Puka's last year, you see that his yards per route run is super high, his PFF grade is super high, and all those efficiency metrics look great, similar to Trey Harris. And it's not like Puka played the toughest competition at BYU either. So I think there's an opportunity for Trey Harris to be that good. Now, people might be like, what about Ladd? Well, don't forget, Puka did play with Cooper Kupp, and he did become the main target. And now Kupp was older. Let's stay with this. Kupp had the injuries that did allow Puka to become what he is today. But I think Trey Harris has an opportunity if they do throw the ball. Just a little bit more to become a very good asset in Dynasty. As far as probably his value, like I have listed here, high risk, high reward. Boom bust guy. That's the Alec Pierce value. Honestly, Devontae Parker too. He's going to be taken likely in the mid to late second round. I haven't had a draft where he was an early third round rookie pick. And I mentioned earlier in another video that I'm doing with another group that I was not paying attention, and I should have traded for him if I could have, because I did want Trey Harris. And then the age and injury is going to be a concern with him. So this is my final assessment. I know my face is in the way, but I'm pretty sure you can make out what I'm trying to say here. And I guess I can read some of it. So Trey Harris, high variance profile, right? His yards per route run, elite, especially versus man coverage. Has day 2 capital, RAS score of 9.02, plus he has Justin Herbert, right? Now, the case against him, 23 injury histories and in a run-heavy offense, okay? I think you should still go after him. I took him I have 2 leagues I really care about. I took him one league I'm rebuilding, one league I'm not. A league that, of course, I'm not. I had the 2-3, and I took him at the 2-3. I am very bullish on Trey Harris. I think, and in fantasy, sometimes I like to take gambles, and this is a gamble I'm willing to take just looking at the analytic profile. I think he could be a very good get in Dynasty. Let's actually take a look. If we look here, and these are the 8 games he played, right? And you can see he had 2 targets. Well, I guess he played more than 1 snap. He had 2 targets here, right? So he really, and I don't. Oh, he still had a touchdown now. Oh, that's funny. Still had a touchdown, but he didn't never play the whole game in that one, right? So I look at his profile, and now of course he destroys Fermi, he destroys Middle Tennessee, but my thing is, if you play with your competition, that's who you should destroy. All right, that's who you should beat. So you should look great against those guys. But he still is solid against people like Georgia Southern. Let's see. I was gonna say Kentucky, but it's like iffy. It's like okay, like kind of. LSU, he was good against LSU. 73-7 is not the best, but it's not the worst. But then even the year before, okay, let's do this. Let's go the year before, since everybody wants to complain about this year, even though this number right here, my goodness, he still had. Let's see, he only had 1 game. Who game was that? That was against Wake Forest, right? He still had games, yards per run, insane. Didn't matter. Passer rating to him was the best. But okay, if we're like, he didn't play against anybody, cool. All right, let's go to these games. So Mercer, okay, Tulane absolutely dominates. Alabama, I don't know. Well, I guess, did he dominate? Kind of. Did he play that much? I don't know if he didn't play that much. It looks like he only was on 3 pass plays. 3 pass plays, catches 2 passes, gets a touchdown. Okay. And same with Alabama. He only played 4 pass plays in this game. So it looks bad here, but he didn't play that much. Okay. Now we get to LSU. Good against LSU. Arkansas, not as good. Auburn, good. Vanderbilt, okay. Texas A&M absolutely dominates Texas A&M. Okay. Now Texas A&M might not have the best defense, but hey, they're still an SEC school. Let's not forget that. Georgia, that was going to be a tough game regardless. Yeah, I would know. Monroe, Mississippi State, doesn't look like he plays well, but then against Penn State, bowl game, plays good. And again, that is top competition. He does still post over 3.1 yards per run. So that's my thing about Trey Harris. We're over here analyzing just one season where he has had 2 good seasons. And in all honesty, when we're looking at just PFF grades, he's been good every year he's played. He's not had a bad year. Yeah, this year where he's had 1 target, he played 10 snaps that year. Okay? So my thing is, Trey Harris has been good every single year he has played college football. Take the bet on him, and that's what I'm doing. And doing this talk right now is making me realize I need to go in that league that I should have got Trey Harris. I need to go get Trey Harris. I need to figure out a way to go get him. The guy I wanted to look at was Puka. Puka Lopa. Really? I don't even know who that is. Who is he? He's an edge rusher. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Puka Lopa. Okay. Let's look at Puka Nacua, right? And I believe I've done this before. But Puka didn't play a full season here, right? I would say I believe Puka was known to be injury prone. And I might have mentioned this earlier. But let's look at his competition, right? He plays USF, Wyoming, Notre Dame. Notre Dame doesn't play well. Arkansas, he plays good. Liberty plays good. Eastern Carolina, Boise State, he plays amazing, right? I say Arkansas, he played really good too against Arkansas. Let's just I don't know why his PFF grade is that low, but unless he fumbled. Yeah, he must have fumbled. Okay. Boise State, he plays great. Then he plays Utah, TC, and then Stanford, right? And it's not like he was great every game. He still has a 3.5 yards per route run. And if you look at his offense, 89.8, 90.1 receiving grade. Very similar to Trey Harris. It's in a very similar tier. And I guess maybe Puka was fumbling a lot this year because maybe that's why he fell to the 5th round himself. But you start looking at these analytics, you realize Puka's really, really good and has been doing it for a while. And at Washington, he really, I guess he was injured for real because he doesn't really play that much, or he didn't play, and that's the reason he transferred. And let's go to his 2021 year because that would have been his junior year. And not sure what happened here. Well, hold on a second, folks. I have to figure out what to do. Let me go ahead and refresh this page. Oh, maybe I can't. Maybe I didn't pay my bill. Jeez. Okay, let's go to 2021. All right, there we go. All right, let's full screen this bad boy back up. All right. So, even the year before, and wait, how old is? Did they not have Puka's age? Guess not. He's 23 now. He's been in the league. This will be his 3rd year. He'll be 24. So, Puka did come in, I guess, at his correct age for being a senior. I guess Trey Harris would be a super senior. Fine. But Trey Harris has been good every year he's been in college. Puka's had, technically, according to this, some years where he hasn't been as great. Okay? And even if you look here, he plays good against Baylor, plays good against USF. Doesn't really play against. He does play. He just didn't play well. Washington State didn't play as many snaps, but he has good games against Virginia, Idaho State, Georgia Southern. Doesn't play good against USC or UAB. And Puka's still a top guy. Yards per route run this year was also 3.44. It's the similarities that was getting to me. All right. Similar height, 6'2". Trey Harris is 6'3", 205. I'm pretty sure Puka's not the fastest guy. They don't even have his speed on here. I'm pretty sure Puka was probably a 4.5 guy. It's too many commonalities. Now, in who they are at the core of their essence, I'm not sure of that. I couldn't tell you that. But when I look at Trey Harris, I see a guy who could be a dominant player in the league, and I think he just needs an opportunity. And he might. And the thing is, he might get it. He may get it. Yeah, because let's come back here. 88, 88.5, 89.6, 3.17 yards per hour run. I'm assuming at LA Tech, his yards per hour run wasn't as high. No, it wasn't. 236, 217, 22, and that was still that was the year he played probably one game for COVID. And for your first year and your second year, that's not terrible. That's absolutely not terrible, to be honest with you. I've seen people in the ones easily. And then he shoots a 3 and then goes to 5. So I just want people to think about that when they think of Trey Harris. Think of Puka. It's very similar. It's a very similar thing going. Now he is definitely 23, and Puka is been in the league 2 years. So that might be the flag that I was talking about earlier. But I think Trey Harris is going to be a good get for Dynasty. All right. Our second guy. No, I'm sorry. Trey Harris was our second guy. Our third guy, everybody's going to know. Clearly, Malik Neighbors. All right. So with Malik, we know he dominated at LSU. Okay, that last season. Let's see, he was 1569, number 2 nationally. Of course, SEC leader. He should have won. Yeah, he won the Biletnikoff. Yeah, if I remember right, Biletnikoff. All-American. Yes, we know that. PFF grade, number 1. Yards per out run, 3.64. PFF versus man, number 2. PFF versus zone, number 1. And going back to talk about Puka, he was number 1 against zone in college. That would be the difference between him and Trey Harris. But Malik Neighbors definitely was number 1 in zone. So that's a thing to look at. And in that same year, I want to say Luther Burden might have been number 1 or number 2, I believe in 2020. I think in 2023, I think. I have to look back at it. I have to look back at it. Let's see, 89.16. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so what we also did is a comparison against Marvin Harrison, because this is the guy he had to go up against, right? So we look at the receptions. Of course, that was higher. Malik played mostly at the slot. Well, not most. I'm sorry. He played basically half and half, outside slot. And you like to see that. NFL teams like to see that as well, just because it allows them to know that player can do both, and that just makes it even better for them. The PFF grades mentioned that. Marvin Harrison 89.9. Yards per out run. Malik was higher than that. Missed tackles forced. Just lets you know he's not going to be an easy tackle. You can see he was the 99th percentile on the career missed tackles forced. Led college football in 20-plus yards catches with 34. And then the early breakout age at 19. Okay. When we get to his pro day, okay, like his athleticism, it basically shut off the board. I know all these RAS scores are unofficial, but it puts him into an elite category. Goes to the NFL. Target share. He was actually number 1 in target share. Target rate, number 2. Targets, number 2. Expected fantasy points per game, number 1. Route participation, number 7. So, I say all this to say it might be time to trade like a Justin Jefferson and see if he can get Malik Neighbors in a little bit extra. Because Malik Neighbors might be that guy. Now, the problem is he's in a, what's my guy in New York? Garrett Wilson situation where you don't know if his quarterback is good enough to get him the ball. But he was catching the ball from Daniel Jones, Drew Lock. What was the other guy dropped? I can't think of DeVito, Tommy. So he was catching the ball from some bad quarterbacks, but he still made it work. 109 receptions, Giants rookie record. He actually had the rookie record until Brock Bowers beat him. Receiving yards, 1204. Receiving touchdowns, 7, 18.2 fantasy points a game, number 6. And led all rookies with missed tackles forced with 19. Okay? Now, the quarterback play. We know Daniel Jones struggled, okay? 72 PFF grade. Explosive pass rate was really bad. And then we looking at his stats, and I know it's not going to be the same, but when you're looking at the stats from college to the NFL, you could see a drop. And basically, like when I put the A dot right here, you see that the downfield usage was bad for Malik Neighbors. And sometimes you just see that in some games that they just couldn't get in the ball. Daniel Jones sometimes looks scared back there. Just couldn't get in the ball. Dynasty, we're going to bet on this. We're going to bet on the talent, okay? We have the case for Neighbors, okay? Elite athleticism, draft capital, elite historical rookie usage, the proven volume, okay? Blue chip dynasty asset. We could say anything about the quarterback play, the offensive scheme limitations, okay? But this is a blue chip dynasty asset that everybody should try to get if you can. I have him on one dynasty team, and I have him because I took him in the 3rd round of startup. We drafted rookies in the startup, and I'm lucky I have him. Lucky to have him. And so he's in the mold of those LSU receivers where he could be wide receiver one day. If the Giants just get a better quarterback, the Malik Neighbors is going to be be the elite asset. Let's put it like that. Not a elite asset. He'll be the elite asset. I would have bet on him to win that. Okay, and let's go to his PFF. Let me make sure I clicked on here. PFF side, but Malik Neighbor is going to be that guy that everybody's going to want on their teams. If we look here, he doesn't have a game under 4 targets. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not even looking at the right side. I apologize. He doesn't have a game under 7 targets. That was 4 catches. He doesn't have a game under 7 targets. And that's just starting off in the NFL. And this first game against Minnesota is not even considered a good game. And for a rookie, I would say that's a pretty good game to start off with. But you can see here his offensive grade 86, receiving grade 87. Okay. Now, drop issue, he did have a few drops. I remember sitting there and watching that. With PFF, they targeted him with 8 drops this year. Cleans that up. Yeah, he's even better. He just has to clean that up just a bit. He's even better with that. But he has some monster games in here already. He has a game, 171 yards, 2 touchdowns on 7 catches. Elite fantasy weeks. And this is championship week right here. This is championship week in fantasy. So this is what we're looking for, to be honest with you. The target number is just the opportunity. They know he's the best receiver. Get him the ball. Okay, and that's what you want. He didn't really even play out the slot as much. He played more outside. In college, he kind of did both. I would like to. What I want to do. Let me just look at his passer rating when throwing to him. His passer rating 96.6. Okay, I want to compare CeeDee Lamb because I want to see I just want to see the usage that CeeDee plays in the slot versus how he plays out wide. Okay, because CeeDee plays 60% in the slot, and you can see the type of targets that he gets. Okay, CeeDee still had 101 catches on the season. And did CeeDee play 16 games or did he play 15? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So he plays 15 games, 146 targets. That's almost 10 targets a game. Okay. Yards per route run, 2.27. He was higher the previous year. What did he run up the slot? Okay, so CeeDee is basically about even when we're looking at it. So CeeDee's at 58 here, 50 there. So basically CeeDee's running almost just as much or more in the slot. And you can see the change. Did they change? Let's say 93? That was his rookie year. Jeez, that's entirely too much. He still had 935 yards though. But I like the balance. So I think that's what they're going to have to do with Malik Neighbors. Because it seems like CeeDee's yards at the catch is pretty decent in itself. I just want to look at one thing for Neighbors. Because Neighbors' yards at the catch, 4.4, yeah. So CeeDee's is right there with him. Yeah, they need to put Neighbors in the slot more then. I know Wan'Dale Robinson is probably there, but they need to just get him a little bit more versatile. Did they get anybody? I know they have Slayton. I'm not sure. I can't remember who else they would have taken in the draft. Because Malik is definitely going to be that guy. So they need to just, man, he has 165 targets probably in 17 games or probably 16. So I'm trying to see if there's a game that was missed here. Because some games I feel like he was hurt, but he still played right through them. Yeah, I think he played. Because he 5 and 6. So he still probably had more targets than CeeDee Lamb in the same span then, which is absolutely insane for a rookie. 165 targets. If he could be a guy that got 180 targets Could he be like Deontay Johnson, get like close to like 200 targets in a season? But he's a better receiver than Deontay easily. So if he could be similar to that, because I'm just looking at CD, I'm looking at the receiving percentage. You see a 69.2, 73, 72. Okay. So it seems like 70 is the sweet spot on the elite guys, right? 66 seems to be the low end. So if he can get that up to 70, and I know it's just a few percentage points higher, that just makes it even better. Makes him even better. Be 115, 120 catch guy. You ever started talking about getting the Michael Thomas type air of Dynasty? Yeah. Malik Neighbors seems to be the bet to go get in fantasy. Even without the quarterback. The Giants need to figure out how to get a quarterback. Russell Wilson is a stopgap. Jameis will get him the ball, but the problem is he gets the other team the ball. They need to hope Jackson Dart is really that guy. And Jackson Dart's that guy, then Malik Neighbors, his value shoots up. And it might honestly be higher than somebody like Chase or even Jefferson. Because I think Jamar Chase, and let me just check. But I think somebody like Jamar Chase played more out of the slot this year, which is smart. Let's see. Yeah, he played more out of slot. Not even like halfway, but he played more. He played 33% of the time out of the slot. And the thing is, every time I look at Jamar Chase's just efficiency metrics, it's never like top tier. It's never top tier. But you look at the targets. That's what you want. It's opportunity in fantasy. That's what we're looking for. So he's getting the opportunity. Hey, we're gonna be okay with it. Yeah, he's getting 171 targets, 40, 140, 150. Yeah, he's staying at 150 to 170 range. Yeah, we're looking at a lead upside. But the 1,700 yards, that's what we care about. 1,800 yards as a rookie. I did not realize he had 1,800 receiving yards as a rookie. That's amazing. Jeez. Yeah. But again, like I will mention, you see the reception percentage? So that means we need to get that number up higher. If we get that number up higher, Malik Neighbors is going to dominate. I'm just going to say that again. Malik Neighbors will dominate. He's playing, and you can see, I wonder if he plays at the slot even more. Get him up to like 40% slot, 6% wide. If that number even increases even more. So, actually, because I want to look at the elite receivers. I want to see what they're doing that is making them just great. And the three I'm thinking of is, of course, CD, Justin. I know Amon-Ra plays mostly slot, so I'm not worried about that. But, yeah, so slot usage, and it looks like it needs to be in the 30s. Because Justin Jefferson was he a tick down this year? Just a little bit. Not really, though. But his targets were down. Did he miss a game? And I know I have the regular and postseason on here, which for the NFL stuff I do need to take off. Okay, so bad game against Detroit. I think Detroit loaded up on him in that game, though, if I remember right. I wonder if Jamar had 18, or if I had that playoff thing going. I probably had the playoff thing going, and that's why it looked like that. Still, it looks like 30 is a sweet spot, because anytime Jefferson's at 30, because if I remember right, I think this is in 10 games. This season right here. So that's still on pace for 1,700 yards. This is 1,800, 1,600, 1,400. And this is a rookie year again. Yeah. Jefferson's elite. So I know it depends on the team, but I think these guys are going to have to play out the slot. They play out the slot a little bit more. Catch percentage, that might, let's see, this is the best year, 72.7. This was elite rookie year, 66. So, and Jefferson, so it looks like 70, you want to be up at 70%. for the catch percentage. That's what, just looking at it. Because 69, 60, 72, 66, I know it's lower, 72. So, and Jefferson's at a career basically at 70. So it looks like you want to be about 70. Okay. Our last guy we're going to look at today. Bashul Tuden. I believe it's Bashul. I'm not sure, though, to be honest with you. Man, and just pause. Steph Curry is out here limping. I'm sorry. Either he's yeah, Steph Curry's limping. Man. Okay, let's get back to it. Bashul Tuten. All right. Wrote up something. Hey, I got very creative, okay? Forgive me. All right, so he starts in high school. Found out he had 77 touchdowns in high school. That is absolutely insane, but he still only had one offer, and that was the North Carolina A&T. Okay, breaks out there, has 1,700 all-purpose yards, first team All-Big South, All-American. Then he goes to Virginia Tech. First year is okay. Second year was a lot better. Oh, yeah, he did set a Virginia Tech record with 266 rushing yards in a game. The combine was elite for him. It basically moved him up boards, okay? And then you have the NFL draft. He gets picked in the 4th round. Scheme fit, similar to what Liam Cohen likes. And so we have here. So we have the speed, strengths, game breaking speed, production. We know that he has good vision, contact balance. He could be a kick returner, receiver. Now the ball security issues are a major concern. It does remind me of Chase Brown. I am going to look and see if the similarities here in a second, though. But we have the PFF data. For the on-field speed, I guess he's not running as fast from everything I've been looking up. And the short yardage, the route tree, the pass protection. So the pass protection is very similar to what itself Chase Brown. The route tree, I'm not sure if Chase Brown had that or not, but it wasn't as major of a thing. Dynamic weapon, home run hitter, valuable committee back. That's his upside. Okay. Downside, fumbles, if not corrected, similar to how Tyrone Tracy, which we'll look up, I just want to look up the fumbles for him, will be an issue. Player comps, CJ Spiller, Raheem Mostert, Chase Brown, who's on the list. There's I keep mentioning him, and I was like, hey, he's got to be on this list. And I believe the high end is Maurice Jones-Drew, okay? No, I'm not saying he's going to be that, but let's just say that's the high. So I'm just tearing up CJ Spiller, Mostert, Chase Brown, MJD. Okay? So, and then basically what I need to make a video title. Will speed overcome risk, or will fumbles define his NFL fate? Yeah, I need to make that into a video. All right, we have Bashul Tuten here. Okay? So, and what I'm about to do is look at Chase Brown's stats in college and compare it to Bashul, because I believe Chase Brown was better. So Bashul, looks like he had one. Did he just? No, this is receiving. I was like, this can't be right. But if this is his receiving, this is okay. 60.9 is not the best. Not going to say. Not going to act like it is. Okay. His offense on the receiving side is good though. Pass blocking was okay some games, and then bad other games. And fumbling was a major issue, as we can clearly see here. At North Carolina A&T, he was a monster, though. Okay. Yeah, right here I'm looking at 89.9 receiving grade. I thought he was a monster. This is only on 48 passing plays. And 70 grade, he drops. Yeah, I think Chase Brown was better in college on the receiving side. Let's go to rushing real quick, because we're gonna look at both. Yeah, because we're gonna do a quick comparison. All right. So on the rushing side, we see he's at 80.7, which is good. It's not elite, but it's good. 77.4 on the offensive side, which we mentioned earlier. Okay. Let's see the fumbles because I know they're here. Missed tackles forced, I want to say, was pretty decent though. Breakaway percentage is good. Did like that. First downs. Where's the yards? Okay, 21 basically basically plays with 15 yards or more, which is good. It's not the top, believe it or not. I believe that's probably RJ Harvey or Genty. The breakaway percentage is very high though. I do like that. What I am looking for, which I don't see right now, this is receiving side, which the elusive grade is good. I'm looking for things that translate yards out of contact. That is good. Oh, here go the fumbles. He had four this season. If he only had 4 this season, well, I guess not only, but if he had 4 that season, 4 and 5. Oh, he really didn't start fumbling until he got to Virginia Tech. Jeez. So maybe he's a better runner, but he just fumbles too much right now. Okay, let's take a look at Chase Brown real quick. Because Tootin will be our last guy. Yeah, because the problem with Tootin is, and I think what people are going to start realizing here shortly, either Tootin's going to stop fumbling, or he's not going to be able to play. Yeah, and that was like someone like Tyrone Tracy's issue. So Chase Brown, his final season in college. This is the rushing side. It's not, honestly, it's a little bit better than Tootin's, but it's not overly better as far as efficiency metrics. And you look at Chase Brown was in college for 5 years. How old is he now? He's 25 now. But he has 1,600 yards though. That was the difference. He might have had more just opportunity as well. We look at breakaway plays, 23. Breakaway percentage is lower, which lets you know that. Yards at the contact definitely was lower this year, especially compared to his previous season. Now his rushing grades stayed pretty decent, and he was at Illinois. Wasn't that elusive. I'm just looking at, because I know I saw Tootin at. I want to see the yards per hour run for Tootin. Because did Chase Brown catch the ball that much? Let's see, 27 receptions for 30 yards, 14 for 19. And he can catch the ball, and he can catch the ball now. Hold on, let's take a look. Hold on a second. 23 out of 27, 25 out of 39. It's honestly about the same. The yards per hour run is absolutely not Chase Brown level though. He might be elusive, but it's not Chase Brown level at all. And he's had some drops, it looks like. Ooh. Let's go back to Chase. Chase have any drops? 1, 2, 1. Not 5 and 4. Yeah, Tootin might not be passing down back like we think he is. Or can't catch like we thought he could. That might be an issue, guys. Might be a major issue. Let's look at his receiving side just to see. Because maybe PFF has him at a little bit higher. No, we actually started with the receiving. We need to go to Chase Brown's receiving. Yeah, because his receiving was not good. We might honestly have. I'm hoping Tootin's not one of those guys where he's just super fast and not necessarily a good running back, because I feel like that would be a downer. Okay, this gets very similar to Tootin's profile now, because the receiving grade is not necessarily the greatest on this part. Okay. And the offense is similar, but yeah, his Chase Brown's receiving was not something super elite in college. So it might be something similar. Yards per run, they're okay. It's some 1.04, 1.09. It's not much difference than our guy. Yeah, Tootin's basically the same way. Yeah, I want to look at 2024. I just want to look at the receiving side. We got 60. He didn't drop. Did he not drop the ball this year? Maybe he didn't drop it this year. Okay, that would be good, right? Okay, so 0 drops this year. It was just the 2 years prior. Okay. Now the fumbles is what's getting this man. If he could stop fumbling the ball And pass blocking is absolutely terrible. He's not going to be able to be a third down back unless he gets that better. He has to get that better. Because he could potentially actually get on the field. So Tootin might take him a year to just understand the NFL side of things. Because he has the frame, 5'11", 209, 210. I think Chase Brown's 5'9", 215. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough because everybody is so high on him, and he doesn't catch the ball that well. It don't look like, it really doesn't look like. Yards per run wasn't that good this year, but it looks like previously it was pretty decent, or Chase Brown-esque. Let's say that, not pretty decent. Chase Brown-esque is that one last year. So I'm gonna stop there. Those are my four guys. Four guys I'm looking at. I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm try to anyway. And just because the thing is, I gotta make the infographics, and it takes a little while, and I've just been experimenting on different styles. So, but that's the video for today. I'm just like keep watching, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will see you.